back? It's been a whole week.
This week's been flying.
Damn, 6. Yeah, come on, 20 minutes.
Okay. What's on your mind?
I failed my first test. I did not shoot after my appointment. I did the same thing again, which was get more of the steps. So my goal for tomorrow's 2 appointments.
You said you didn't shoot. What do you mean?
Like, I did not take any pictures of the final result. Like, I didn't take pictures. I took a lot of videos.
Gotcha.
And I gotta stop doing that. Because then when I put together that folder of just stitch braids, I had so many fucking videos of the process.
Right. So I think this is something that came up in our conversation. What's happening where when the opportunity to do something different comes, you do the same thing, which means now you need another opportunity to come to do something different.
That's a good question.
And then if you don't have the answer to the question, what questions do you have to prepare you for the next time? Because what happens is it's gonna be productive to dissect what's happening so you can help yourself.
You don't know what's happening? Or you think you're just so used to doing the same thing?
That's an excuse. Because we already know that part, you know?
I don't think I'm preparing for the next time. Like, I didn't set up to do a different thing.
Right.
I did what I usually do.
Well, no, we know that already. So either you gotta think through what's happening. Because really, you just said the same thing over again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So example, if I'm trying to create a new habit or break an old habit, the first thing I'm trying to become more aware of my pattern. So when I recognize that I'm beginning my pattern, I can break it. So it's getting in tune with the pattern. You know, every time I sit down on the computer and I'm about to go through images on the folder, I start to bite my nails. So now I want to edit more and organize more, but I don't want to bite my nails. So I buy the fingernail polish so I don't bite my nails. So the last 2-3 weeks of me editing, I'm not biting my nails because I recognize my pattern. I recognize the habit that I no longer want. So I'm paying attention to the conditions that I create for myself that causes me to execute my bad habit. And then I put myself in that situation in a way where I can break the bad habit. That's what I mean by what's happening. But you might not be aware of what's happening yet.
Right. Because if I think about it, I could like create more of an opportunity for the after, to get more content. Like I set up a good experience so that when I'm breaking, I catch content. But when I get finished, it'd be like they be ready to go, I be ready to go, it'd be over, but I don't get my end result. So I gotta do better preparing for that. Like that's still part of the appointment. That's still part of it's what I need for the full experience. And that kind of roll over to a lot of things because if I don't get the end of the videos, they don't never see that they done, and it just look like I don't finish it.
Right. So something is happening, but we don't know what that is.
But now we can pay attention.
Well, you can't pay attention until you identify it. You got to identify what's happening before you can pay it attention.
Mm.
So at some point, you giving yourself permission to not do it, is what I'm assuming.
It sounds like though she's not setting it up to.
Ain't no setup. It sounds like she don't feel like it. I mean, that's what I heard, but maybe I'm wrong. Like it sounded good with the I'm not setting it up.
But
But
you gotta set up the tripod, the camera, the lights to shoot the the model or the.
No, that's kind of set up during the whole thing. It's it's the time that it take to do that second half of the thing.
Oh, which is why you're saying don't feel like it.
I mean, that's what I kind of summed it up to. I mean, that might not be completely fair to just be like, oh, I don't feel like it, but that's what I hear. I mean, I'm imagining, yeah, that's what I'm imagining, like, or not feeling like it. Maybe telling yourself it's okay not to do it. Telling yourself, oh, I'll do it the next time.
Any of them.
You know what I mean? And then beating yourself up about the fact that you didn't do it. Because being aware of failing the test is not good. Because then it's creating the habit and the condition of accepting failing the test. But don't we always have this conversation? Because there was something else that you said that's probably consistent with me and Allie talking, is that you're not preparing in between time. So it's like you are taking a test, but not preparing for the test. So when the test comes, you ain't taking it. It ain't even that you ain't passing it. You ain't taking it.
Right. Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing I sometimes do.
Because I think this is something that we all dealing with, is how do I get out of the routine and the habit and the pattern? Like how do I break my habits that I don't want and create habits that I do want?
Because every time I tell myself I'm gonna do it, get done. Or with Erica,
What?
It was just comfortable enough to do. Like it was just like, let me finish, let me get some pictures, let me. And she was used to it already. Versus clients that be they sat too long, irritated, ready to go. They don't feel like they
But
want more time.
do you feel like your excitement for what you did was different?
No, because I feel like I'm always excited when I do good hair.
But was it different?
Right.
Maybe because I did a new thing.
Well, I mean, you ain't changed all of your profile pictures to the last
Hairstyle.
hairstyle. You ain't create a logo with the last hairstyle you did.
So I did.
Like it almost seemed like you wasn't about to let that get away without doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Well, if I do judge my hairstyle, then they'll probably be the ones that I don't. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
Over judging
yeah,
it.
yeah. Here come what's happening.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not allowing it all to just be whatever it is.
And then at the
Letting it
very
flow.
least, not. So it's almost like that conversation we having about critiquing what you're doing too early, being and not being able to see what you actually created because you critiquing it so early.
Mm-hmm.
Is not. It's getting in the way of you getting images that you could use for something else. You know what I mean? I mean, because arguably, you might look at the images when you sorting through them and not like them, but you're not giving yourself the option.
But looking at them with fresh eyes do give you a whole different experience because putting them bitches in the folder, I didn't remember half of them hairstyles until I was re-looking at them
Exactly.
with new eyes. So it is.
Mm-hmm.
Or opening back up my hard drive and seeing them different.
Right. So when you can pinpoint where you're in your way, when you get in your way, you can just get out of the way.
So regardless, start to finish, or and definitely finish.
Right. And it's not that you're not finishing, you're choosing not to do it.
Choosing not to take the pictures of the finished thing.
Sound like you, yeah, if you ain't super excited about it or you ain't like it or ain't the best work, you know what I'm saying? Then it's like, oh, okay, I'm tired. They ready to go. I'm ready to go.
Mm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it sounds like.
So to pass the test, she has to tell herself it's not an option not to not feel like it.
Yeah. I mean, to pass the test, you got to take it. You got to probably convince yourself that not doing it is not an option. So you probably are getting comfortable with giving yourself options
Mm-hmm.
instead of starting to build the habit. You know, because you want the habit to already be developed by the time you really need it to be a habit, you know? Like you don't want to have to, you don't want to miss out on an opportunity that's to come
Mm-hmm.
because you didn't create the habit. So for a long time, I never carried my camera with me. But I wanted to start carrying my camera with me because when I didn't have my camera, I would always see something that I wanted to shoot. But I would always pick and choose when I'm gonna take the camera and when I'm not gonna take the camera. And every time I took the camera, I wouldn't see anything. Every time I didn't take the camera, I would see something.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to stop giving myself the option to take the camera or not take the camera. And every time I'm wondering if I should, I forced myself to take it anytime I'm questioning if I should take it. Once I found myself in my head about it, that meant I gotta take it.
Yeah.
And then I shot self-imprisonment because the day I saw that was the first time I saw something that I wanted to shoot, and I had my camera simultaneously.
Mm.
The very first time.
Yeah, now you always take your camera.
Right. Yeah, because right now we got it's too much. Oh, yep, I failed the test. Oh, I didn't. It wasn't flying colors. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like the tests are pass fail, and if you don't take them, you fail. That's the failing the test, not taking it. It's not how well you did on whatever the test was. It's did you take the test? Because once you take the test, you pass it.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? The test is okay. We had a whole conversation about it last week. That situation is coming. So no matter what you doing to yourself in your head along the week, once you there, you gotta do it just to pass the test.
Mm-hmm.
Because what do they say? 21 days, create a new habit.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the whole I'm gonna do this every day until I'm good at it. It's not really about being good at it. It's about doing it every day. Because then when you're doing something that you want to get good at every day, you're building the routine of practicing, which means getting good at it is inevitable. And then you ain't got to force yourself to go practice. You practicing because it's a habit.
Mm-hmm.
You don't got to think about it. You don't got to convince yourself that you need to practice. Mm-hmm. So what you want to know? Because we also need to activate curiosity
Mm-hmm.
in relationship to the habit, the failing the test, the missing the opportunity and having to wait on the next opportunity.
I'm wondering how this relates to mm, my interactions with uncomfortable conversations with my
Mm. So you wonder how it relates?
family. Mm-hmm.
You think I do?
Mm-hmm. Or what I need to do to prepare.
The same thing you needed to do to prepare for taking the pictures. What did we say you needed to do to prepare to take the pictures?
Mm-hmm.
Or no. Being able to identify what's happening.
Mm.
The routines, the
Yep. Like, so it's like really being able to think through what what is the moment that stops you. You know what I'm saying? So you can become more aware of the moment. So when the moment comes, you know you're at that point. You feel what I'm saying?
that I need to do something different than I
Yeah.
usually do.
Yes. Yeah.
So if that relates, then that's whenever I want to shut down, or whenever I want to be quiet, or whenever I want to
Yep.
end it.
Yep. Yep. And if we looking at it like a conversation, well, I mean, ultimately we're doing it now when we're talking about taking the pictures, when we're talking about shooting. You're having a conversation about it is you preparing for the next time, which means whatever this uncomfortable conversation is that you want to have, you probably need to practice having that conversation. You know?
Like on some, however I think it's gonna go, talking through that, and then
Yeah, or just kind of talking through what's the, talking about what the uncomfortable conversation is.
mm,
Not with who you need to talk to about it. You know what I'm saying? What you about to say, my love?
like
The food's gonna come, so can you attend to the door? And can y'all not be done by the time we're finished?
We won't be done by the time you finish, my love. Yeah, but you keying in on getting prepared in between is key because it's what I'm always fussing at her about, which is not getting prepared in between the time, but thinking you're ready for the test when it comes.
mm-hmm.
No preparation in between the last time you failed the test is just putting you in another position to fail the test again or to not take the test because you know you're not prepared. And this is where knowing yourself comes into play.
That's where having my conversation comes.
Yeah, so you gonna talk, you can talk through it. If you want feedback, you can get feedback or you can vent. You know what I'm saying? But if you can imagine the scenario, then you gotta break different elements of the scenario. So if normally this is how this would happen, and you can predict the outcome based on what normally happens, you want to approach it, abnormally. If normally the person you're trying to have an uncomfortable conversation with come inside your house, and now that makes it more uncomfortable to have that conversation because all you thinking about is what they gonna grab and get mad, and then the chaos gonna break out in the house. Then step outside before they get there. So you putting yourself in a better possible situation to say what you need to say. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, yeah, every time we get into it, they come over here and then now they in the house. So the whole thought is how to get them out of the house. So I'm thinking how to get them out of the house instead of thinking that it's more important for me to say what I need to say. Did that make sense?
Yeah, and I'm thinking about my mom. Um, she texted me the other day and asked me if I wanted to go to the Cavaliers in the concert with them for Rachel's birthday. And I did what I usually do, which is I didn't say nothing. But the experience is still like lingering.
Right. Well, you still feeling all of your feelings.
Right. But I don't feel like it's necessary for her to know all of them because regardless, it's a touchy subject for her because of the two people that's like involved in it. Meaning me and her significant other.
Right.
So then in a circumstance like that where you still want to share, what do you
Well, in a situation like that, you can't think about nobody else before you think about yourself.
mm,
So, it being a touchy subject for her can't be the priority. That's the thing that helps you not say anything. You know what I'm saying? And not that it's not important, but it just can't,
outweigh that?
right? And it's one thing to want to have a conversation, and then it's another thing to express how you feel in the moment. You know, do you have an answer to her question?
Yeah.
Right,
Hell no.
right.
Mm.
See, answering the question releases a little bit of it.
And then that can be okay. That can be how I don't hold on to it by myself.
Right,
Like it don't have to come with this full blown conversation if it don't open up the door for it itself.
right. Well, two things. One, it opening up the door for itself is probably one of the patterns that you probably wait on it to open up, for the door to open up for itself.
Yeah, like if the problem come back.
Yeah, you waiting on another opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to. You actually could create it if you just stay in tune with what it is you want and what it is you don't want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, not come to just want to share it. I just want to be able to say it. I don't really want it to be a full blown conversation.
Say what?
No, this, no, and I, no, this bullshit. Not, cause you invited me. Well, the whole thing is you invited me to a space where somebody didn't even feel like it was okay to acknowledge the thing that happened, which is that y'all have an engagement with somebody that I don't want nothing to do with, additional to everything that y'all know, which should be concerning to y'all too.
What you mean an engagement that who you don't want to deal with?
The real. And
So something is happening again and he is there?
no, the Mother's Day thing, Rachel never said nothing to me after that. So that has never been a conversation handled or anything,
Right.
respectfully. And then you want to invite me to her birthday,
Right.
which is concerning, or which is uncomfortable, which is not cool.
Because the last situation hasn't been addressed.
Right.
Right. So do you want the stuff addressed more than you want to express that you're not interested in going? If you had to put it on a scale, like what do you feel like you need more?
Well, the thinking is like, for me, I just want to be, I want to say no to the thing. And if the thing comes up, then that becomes a conversation. But then that's the thing that I always do.
Right.
So at that point, I got to do something different. So I need to address the conversation.
Sound like it. And it might not be a conversation as much as you just have something you want to say. Like it sounds like it's no, but it's a little more than just no.
Right, like hell no.
Right, but the hell part of the no, the hell part of the no is the bottled up thoughts and emotions that's not being expressed. You know what I'm saying?
Right, because if it was like two, three main points that needed to be shared. It's no, I don't want to go. Two, it's not comfortable that we have not discussed or let go of the elephant in the room of what happened on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Right.
But you want that to be important for them too is a you problem.
Right.
Because and that's the thing that's probably causing frustration and stress is not accepting what's actually happening.
That people are showing you who they are.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
And with that, like if I'm not around, what I was about to say was having a relationship with Rachel does not make me have a relationship with my mom. Like they separate unless it's a holiday or something. And those don't even feel the same. So it's like,
so you've been talking to your mom?
mm-hmm.
Got you.
Like she'll call or text, check in.
Yeah. So I mean, it seemed like you seem like you're supposed to talk to your mother. And then some people would say no response is a response.
The fact that it hasn't been addressed, take that for what it is.
No, no, no. You not responding and answering is you answering. You know?
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Yeah, and it's not simple when the significant other doesn't have a relationship with like somebody close to you, you know? Hey,
So I need to respond to that text message with a no or with a no plus.
hell.
Now the thing that I was thinking of, which is why why I'm saying no.
Yeah, but I don't think you got to the root of why you saying no yet. I think you getting there though. See, because at the
Besides,
root you ain't mad.
right, but part of me not mad.
What are you? How do you feel?
Um, or like the sad part come from like my mom, or the stuff that I'm thinking of that don't even matter. But
What? All of us. You said two different. That was,
like on some like what I said, which was worrying about how she gonna feel or trying to make it something that I don't have no control over. But ultimately, like the relationship with her significant other, don't I'm not really worried about not having an engagement with her.
so what are you worried about?
It affected my mother, but if I don't care about that part, then I'm okay. Or if
But do you care about that part?
I don't want to, but I feel like I'm supposed to. Like genuinely, I don't.
Got you.
I don't give a fuck if I don't engage with her. That does not make me not engage with Bryce or my mama. But
Right now, no, I'm talking about your mom. I'm not talking
oh,
about yeah.
gotcha. Um, what was the question?
We had to rewind. um, you worried about how it would affect your mother.
Uh-huh.
But if I don't, you said if I don't worry about
But
that,
that I was worried about how it affect my mother in a way of like her significant other and her daughter not liking each other or not.
right? But you worried about how it affects her,
Yes.
right? And then you said, but if I don't worry about that,
Right.
how it affects her, my mother, is what I'm talking about.
If I don't worry about how it
Do you
affects my
care
mother,
if it affects your mother or not?
no,
You don't care if it affects her.
no.
Okay, but when you're saying you worried about if it affects her,
Is that's the piece to me that feel like it's supposed to care. Like on some when you grow up, you're supposed to make sure that all that bullshit. But like genuinely, do I care? No.
you don't care if it affects her.
No. I
Gotcha.
don't care if she don't like that I don't like Rachel or she don't like that we don't engage.
Do you know how it affects her?
No.
Got you. That might be a question. You know what I'm saying? Because then you don't even gotta it don't even gotta do nothing to your imagination. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like, do this affect you? Because are you affected if not engaging with Rachel affects you and your mother's relationship? Like not being cool with Rachel affects you and your mother's relationship.
Am I worried?
Like yeah, or like are you cool with that? Or you got a problem with that? Like if your mom feels some kind of way about you not fucking with Rachel and that causes her to interact with you less, are you affected by that?
Two things can be right.
Yeah, I mean at least explore them.
Um,
You want to say yes and no? Yes, what, and then no, what?
yes. Um, like I would still want to be able to engage with women. I would still want to be able to comfortably have a relationship with her outside of Rachel.
Right.
But no, because then at that point I'm choosing her feelings over mine.
Choosing your mother's feelings over yours
Mm-hmm.
by still comfortably having a relationship with her.
No, by letting it affect her, affect me. Like at the point where she say, "Oh yeah, this hurt my feelings," this da 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 da, and then I feel bad, and then I do something different than I would want to do.
Right. I got you. But but what if you knew how she felt about it, but you didn't let it affect you?
That would be the perfect. That would be the ideal
That's
thing.
that's the goal. Yeah, and being aware of how it's affecting her isn't so you can go against what you need to do.
Gotcha. Because if I still
It's
be
so
against what I
you
do,
aware.
gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, it's just being aware. So you don't have to be in your head speculating.
Gotcha.
So you don't got to put your guard up to say, well, if she mad, then fuck it, then let her be mad. Or if you know, You just know it's defined. It ain't just lingering. When last time you seen your mother?
Mm, maybe like 2 weeks ago.
Gotcha.
She stopped by my house. So that's the way that we engage without virtual. Or
Right.
having to go to her house. She
Hmm.
come or having to go to her house, she comes to visit me though.
Gotcha.
Or if I went Bryson when I was working at Boys and Girls Club, she would just drop him off. So I wanted him to come over. She would bring him.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe it's not a text message. Maybe this is a conversation, or you know, hear voices or see faces.
Well, I can talk to her when she comes to get this nail polish.
So something I was looking at was talking about struggling to break habits or create new habits is rooted in what's happening in your subconscious.
Like, if you could think of anything, don't think of the worst thing. Then when you think of the worst thing, how it affects you being scared to go into the new thing.
Well, no, not exactly. I think it's like the voice in our head
Mm-hmm.
that's talking is like programming our subconscious.
Right? Like on some when we talk about the first thing we think being negative.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm. But the breaking bad habits comes.
With reprogramming your subconscious.
Do it come with doing the thing that's comfortable?
What? No, a lot of times it comes with doing the thing that's uncomfortable.
That's the breaking habits. Doing the not breaking or not being able to. The root of that.
Well, that's breaking them and creating them. Is doing the uncomfortable thing.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? A lot of times it's negative and fear talk that's going on in our head, and that's programming our subconscious to create the thing we don't want.
I feel like that's like how I created my sister in my head to be a certain kind of person, to be mad, angry, aggressive. So my engagement with her is
Like it follows that.
yeah, or her being draining, or her being all these negative things.
Yeah, but some of that is based on experience too, though. You know, you ain't making it all up.
Right.
But, and I'm more so talking about like if it's like doubt and fear that you kind of put on yourself, or overly critical. Maybe it ain't maybe these not tests, depending on how you did with tests. You know what I'm saying?
So what would you call them if they wasn't?
I mean, what could it be if you had to put a positive spin on it? If failing a test come with a negative spin, what would you call it?
If I had to put a positive spin on failing the test,
You know what I'm saying? Like if
like
it's
passing the mission or like
yes, something. you know, Another opportunity to get it right, kind of a thing.
versus I failed
Yep.
the.
Yep.
And looking at the opportunities in a more positive light so that I'm not going in with whatever anxiety or whatever that doesn't allow me to do the thing
Yep.
that helps the next.
Yep. Yeah, it's like it's it's practice. Practice for the next thing. And I heard you say that you was trying to figure out what how to turn what you're doing with hair into artwork, right?
Mm-hmm.
What you doing to figure it out?
Um, for one, I'm trying to practice looking at it in more of a like a photography experience versus an Instagram reels videos thing. And look, I need to look more into, or no, I have started, but I need to do more of like hair art or hair photography or printing out some of the things that I've seen to figure out what it is that I want to create.
You got any kind of thoughts or ideas? Do any ideas pop in your head?
Mm, one that popped in my head, and I got a couple on my phone, is like making my name out of braids, or like printing out some letters and then wrapping them with the braid.
Hmm.
Um, but trying to create more like some hair pieces that have words or shapes is one thing that I want to try. But trying to look at it in a more creative way to explore it,
Gotcha.
not just what goes in my head. Cause they be making clothes, they be adding them to the paintings, they be creating hair pieces. like looking at fashion shows and stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah, because it seemed like you might want to do. It's like when Ali is saying if you want to write, you need to read. It's kind of similar. If you want to make images, you need to see images.
Mm-hmm.
But you might need to do some homework that's beyond social media.
Yes. Like some when they was putting maps in people's heads to get to the next state. Like back in the day, like
Yeah.
culturally
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, you need to do some hair research. Because it's almost like it's automatically going to give you ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to expand how you see it. Because it'd probably be beneficial if you could see it in a broader way. And then if you could see it in a broader way and figure out your connection to it.
Definitely got a lot to do with like growing up in a house where that was our go-to hairstyle or go-to engagement with my mama too when she did our hair.
Gotcha.
How you pass it down? I do hair, my sister do hair, my mama do hair.
Right.
The generations now. And I definitely want to like shoot more hairstylists or like women doing hair. Like not just me and what I'm doing, but like mm-hmm. And then when it comes to like productizing my knowledge, now that I've created my PDF, found the online store, set up the ability to have coaching calls through the same link. If I wanted to start to market and promote that thing, like all of the content should talk to whatever that is that I'm selling in all three ways, right?
What you mean, all three ways?
Um, that was just a random number, but like
Gotcha.
in all the ways possible to solve their problem, solve their challenges. Um,
What kind of feedback you getting?
on what?
Like, kind of how some of your content is kind of changing. Anybody asking questions? Anybody inquiring?
Yeah, it's this girl on TikTok. Um, you can tell that she's a beginner braider. You can tell that I think she's from like North Carolina. So she would ask a question under my pictures, and then I would answer it. And then I feel like that should definitely be content. But then it's like going back to last week. It's like, do I focus on one thing and then see how much content I can create around stitch braid problems, challenges, or am I doing everything still all at once?
And what's everything?
Um, stitch braids, braiding period, or am I supposed to just be like tunnel vision on the thing that I'm selling for? Because technically, what I'm selling for, I want to focus on stitch braids specifically
The things you
versus,
selling?
yeah.
Yeah, no, not at all. I think all of the content wind up marketing towards the thing you selling.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like I think you wanna be able to be in a space to be able to be yourself,
Right.
which is to allow yourself to explore what has your attention and what's bubbling up. The fact that you in the world of it, you know what I mean? It's on your mind, broader than just the one technique. You know, and a lot of the information that you are going to be selling, you want to you want to practice giving it away.
Mm. So that's like creating the content and giving away one product that is a part of the braiding essential. So then they want to buy that thing to know more.
Yeah, but it might not, it might sound weird, but you almost want to even take the product that you have.
And Loki give it away.
Yes. Yep. So if any question that's been asked, you want to create content to that because whatever she wants to know, they want to know. Whatever your answer was, it's like you want to turn your answer into content. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether it was a whether you turn it into a meme, whether it's a voiceover, whether it's text on a different video, it's like you want to talk directly to her. You know?
And then that's when I'm speaking to the beginner braider. So when I'm talking to my younger self, is that more so on the like make the content and put it out there regardless?
Because really, what's happening is in you putting out content and taking your frameworks and starting to share your frameworks through social media content, as much as it's marketing for whatever product you are selling or going to start to sell, more than that, you're practicing getting familiar with your knowledge
Mm-hmm.
and you are engaging an audience in the process of you figuring it out. So you're not going to figure it out and then put it out there. You're going to be figuring it out as you put it out there. And when you do it to the point where it's just flowing out of you, you're going to look up and you're going to be then created your products. You feel what I'm saying? Like your development process just so happens to be by way of Instagram and TikTok.
Because I can see it over time.
Yes.
And I feel like that's how it is when I look at like all my images. Like when it comes to like I was looking at this picture the other day and it had a door full of sticky notes from like years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And the shit that it was talking about, it was like eat more. I was like, damn, not eat too much. But it's like little stuff that I was focusing on back then. You don't even notice how like when you look up, you already.
It's like you kind of manifesting it. Yeah. So the way that's a good way to see it.
And I can't see if I don't get my end result when I take my content.
Right. But it also become lesson learned. So, the only way to learn the lesson is to improve the next time you're in the situation. So it can become an opportunity to learn the lesson. But if you don't take the opportunity to pass the universal test, you get the lesson again. So the lesson you could have passed yesterday, right? When could you have photographed the person?
Sunday.
So on Sunday, you could have passed the test, but you missed the opportunity. So you are still at the point where you gotta wait for the next opportunity to pass it. The lesson is repeating itself. You would be on the next lesson. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You would be exploring if this is really how you want to shoot it in a couple days. You feel me? But at the point of if you gonna force yourself to shoot it or not. So that's what I mean. When you miss the opportunity, the lesson repeats itself.
Mm-hmm.
And then the lesson repeats itself so much, it's like you're conditioning yourself to what you don't want. You know?
Mm.
It's like you are practicing a habit. You're turning missing your opportunity into a habit. See, none of it is good or bad. It's about being aware so you can take control over what you can take control over, which is yourself. The situations, you got no control over. How you respond, react in the situation is what you have control over. And the harder the test, the bigger reward when you pass it. So when you practice doing what you don't want to do, it becomes easy to do the things that you need to do. So when you're tired, when you're sleepy, when you want to stop, but you do it anyway.
Now you get used to doing it anyway.
Yes.
Regardless.
Yes, you're conditioning yourself to do it anyway. Which is a very productive way to condition yourself. And when you become very aware of your voice saying it's okay not to do it, and then you tell yourself, every time I hear myself say it's okay not to, I have to, then you don't got to beat yourself up about talking yourself out of stuff. Because you hear yourself about to talk yourself out of it. And it's like, oh, every time I start talking myself out of it, whatever I'm doing, I got to do it anyway because I was about to talk myself out of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like tricking your brain.
So I'm working on completely finishing what I start. Because that's a bad vibe.
Mm. Yeah, and once you get into selling what you have, you'll start to try to figure out getting what you have in front of more people. It's called leads. The more leads you have, the more things you sell. But I think you still developing. And if you got something ready, as you developing, you'll make money. You know what I'm saying? But I think you should be in a very, very focused place of exploring the information that you have to share in a variety of ways.
And that's where that comes in, like the text, the meme,
Mm-hmm.
video, the audio.
Yep. Yep. It's like that's the how. So you experiment with the how you are communicating and engaging. And then you want to experiment with the what.
The braiding.
Or what you're saying to your younger self. What you talking about to your younger self. What your younger self wanted to know. What your more developed self knows now. You know? Like whatever your PDF is, your PDF should be that should be your script. Like I don't know if you notice it, but every time we sit down, I'm looking at out of the different products, I'm looking at the two. To become an artist, productizing knowledge. So as we talking, I'm able to use these kind of like my cue cards. See, I know we've been talking skill development. We've been talking who are you? We've been talking, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm trying to become more aware of where our conversations fall within the framework.
Of the two different things.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I just noticed that we hit heavy on these two lists.
So if we had to go back to exploring the information I have to share in a variety of ways in the what. Can you tell me those bullet points again?
Oh, what did I say?
What I tell my younger self?
Yeah, like is it like the essential question, and when I say essential question, I mean the deeply rooted question is like what would you be talking to your younger self about? You know, what did your younger self want to know? You know, what has your older self figured out? And what I'm seeing is your PDF, the product you created, your framework list that you done started really, really writing out. These are your talking points. And you experiment how you are going to talk about it, you know? But what you want to try to do is you want to try to get in a conversation with your target audience. And this young lady who asks questions is your target. That's your target audience. Like you really want to know what these people who trying to figure it out, what is it y'all want to know? You know?
And that's only because I haven't mastered figuring it out. What it is that I learned.
Well, no. That's just a part of it.
Gotcha.
That's just your personal experience. People gonna be able to relate to your personal experience, but people gonna have their own questions. As much as I want to share with you as an artist, as an entrepreneur, as a person, you got your own questions.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes what you want to know is different than what I want to tell you. What's wrong? I think I didn't lock it. I think you just got to twist the handle. Oh, maybe I did.
Yeah, you did, but I just can't.
But I tightened it all because it was shaking, so I started tightening everything up. I
No, it started shaking, so I started tightening everything up.
You know, so what I try to do is I didn't try to put myself in a healthy series of conversations about all this stuff.
So I can.
You know what I'm saying?
The handful of people that's coming to my mom need to sit and have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
Like, it's this girl named Angel.
Yes.
She started braiding when I started braiding. I told her yesterday.
Yeah, because that's like your field research.
Lady on TikTok. It got to a point where I was like, I don't want to keep giving you my knowledge though.
Who?
The lady on TikTok.
Right, but don't look at it like you not giving. Don't look at it like you giving her your knowledge. Look at it like she's your target audience.
So what is it that she doesn't know? Because that's, I answered a lot of questions, and then it got to a point where it was like, girl, come book this one-on-one.
Well, that you could do that at any moment. But the thing is, at this stage, you need her questions.
Gotcha.
So you're not giving it to her. You're not giving.
Using her for something.
Yes, yes, yes. Because think about it. If you jumped on a call, on a Zoom, or you taught her everything you know, guess what? Now it's all written out. That's almost more significant than the $100, $200 consultant call. And if you don't stop sharing information, she's always going to be engaged. As you go to the next technique, as you launch the product.
And I know I did a good job because of how she responds.
Right.
Like, it was one video and she did a horrible job curling it. So I slid her DMs. I said, you need these 3 things. She said, I needed all of them.
Right.
So it's for...
So those 3 things is content. These are 3 things y'all need. Or tip for the whatever. And break that into 3. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm trying to say. It's... If you coaching, if you teaching, it's helpful to have students. Because then it helps you be able to develop and organize your information.
And then I can use their feedback for a client review or like a student review.
Definitely. But then this is also, but even bigger than that, these are the people who share the information.
Because they needed it, so they're going to put it on their post, and then now you got friends.
Yeah, or when they following your information,
Nothing from please.
these are the ones who hit share.
Gotcha. You know it's hidden. Because they want their friends to see.
Yeah. It's valuable info. So I ain't not posting and saying what I'm saying and giving away the tips and feedbacks, thoughts and suggestions. I ain't keeping it to myself. I just am trying to get out as much as possible and organize what's coming out. So as I'm packaging up the thing that's for sale.
It's ready. It's
Yes.
structured.
Yes, it's structured and it's developed. I can go look at 40 posts and look at people's comments, looking at the ones that they share, look at the questions, looking at the questions I ask, and when people chime in and they answer, now I can speak to their answers. Your system, your ecosystem of people in the community that you build in, they aren't necessarily, your customers.
That look like chicken.
You know what I mean? They're potential clients.
But they help you gain the clientele.
Yeah, they're helping you develop.
I thought it looked like steak, but it's black bean.
Yeah, this your development. So you might not want to get caught up too quick into how much people can pay you. You're gonna develop it. Like at this point, you wanna talk through your whole PDF. You should be looking at your PDF before you post to see which one of these elements are you going to kind of speak on, highlight, activate on your next post, whether it's in the caption, a meme, whatever it is, however you choose to do it. But you should be talking through your PDF. That's why we keep talking productized knowledge. Why? Because I got a product that's productize yourself. Whatever, you ain't want to have to bite it and all that.
It's too big.
Now I'm gonna use the questions under my post to structure my next contents and try to find one and put it in 4 different ways: the text, the meme, the video, and the audio.
Yep. Yeah, you're supposed to just be exploring.
Susie, people been asking you questions?
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Especially on TikTok.
I got some of this.
That's yours.
Oh, this is mine.
Not for your hand on it like that.
I think I need a fork.
You break it open?
Hmm?
You don't break it open too?
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Do you feel like you get stuck not knowing what to do next?
Because I feel like it's so much to do.
Got you. But even in the so much to do, you feel like you know what you should be doing next?
Yeah, because it's like so much shit to try, look up, research, have, hold. So, yeah. Maybe them seamlessly flowing into each other. Because it is like, if it's something to be done, no. Does that make sense?
Mm-mm.
I feel like because it's so much to do, it's always something to be done, but I don't know if I'm working on the thing that should be next after whatever I just finished. Or whatever is in progress, almost done or whatever.
You work on the thing that's got the least amount of steps for you to do it.
Mm. So one thing could be going through my post and writing down the questions.
Yep. Yep. You do the thing that you can do now. All right, you up, my love?
Me?
Mm.
What I'm doing?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to prioritize my knowledge. I made my list. Now I need to make
Is it
better.
fashion?
Mm-hmm.
Where did I get that from?
Cilantro,
I love cilantro.
tequila.
I had them like 2 days ago.
Here you go. But yeah, I need to do my other skills.
Oh, gotcha.
Because I only did the black women and girls. I mean, how to work with black girls. But when I was thinking about it the other day, in addition to putting like a little bit of explanation behind what I'm saying, I also feel like I need to be a little more, my list needs to be a little more meaty, radical, aggressive. Not aggressive, but like
Straightforward.
relatable and,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I really feel like that after just having that little check-in with the girls. Because it was like, all the kind of like formal, standard questions I was asking them, it wasn't much response. But when I start talking, what's your go-to hairstyle for school? And quick debate, school uniform, no school uniform. They all raising their hand, they talking, you know what I mean? So it's like I need to think of like real scenarios, or even like using that as an example, like be relatable, be, you know, that kind of thing. So I need to go back to my list, ultimately what I'm saying. Flesh it out a little more, as well as making sure that if a black girl or a black mother read it,
Mm-hmm.
they feel like, oh, she's really talking to me. Or
So, what skill would you say you executed in order to do that?
probably the one about relatability and being up on what they care about.
But what did you notice that caused you to do it?
I knew that was gonna happen.
You knew what was gonna happen.
I knew they weren't gonna really care about those first 3 questions that I was asking. So I saved those last 2 about hair and uniform for last.
I got you.
So I didn't just make that up. I knew that they were gonna be bored with what's the most surprising thing that's gonna happen in school so far.
So, bored is what you noticed.
Yeah, we anticipated. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I got you.
Yeah, so it's like, don't be bored. And when I acknowledge that I know what's going on in the schools right now, the parents are on there shaking their head like, about these threats and school shootings and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So same kind of thing.
Knowing what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And know what's going on and don't be boring sound different than relatability.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's that?
And that's what you mean. You need to sound more like you.
Yeah.
Don't be boring.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Be like, is it easy for you to get your quotes so honest because you talk first and you can hear what you're saying?
What you mean?
Like your bullet points on that paper sound just like what you would say.
Mm.
In comparison to when I be trying to figure out or write a list or something, that it don't genuinely be like how it come out my mouth.
Mm.
Is recording that video first or setting up the conversation, does that help that?
I think it helped it. But I also think if you say what you mean, that helps it. So if relatability means don't be boring, say what you mean. Like, I'm trying to answer the question that before it gets asked.
Mm.
Like, what does that mean? Don't be, or be relatable. I know it's a talking point no matter what, which means if we have a conversation about it, that's what we would get to. But it definitely would be attractive to somebody to read that as a,
Headline.
mm-hmm.
You oughta just-
It's way too tight. I'm just to stop for a few minutes.
Your hair.
No, but I just know ponytails break your hair off.
What you working on, D5?
In general, or
From last week to this week.
from last week to this week. I don't know. What am I working on? I'm reading the self-actualization book and trying to see where the points from the self-actualization book fit into the frameworks that I done built.
Mm. Did you finish growth?
No.
Finish what?
Growth.
That was the next chapter he was reading.
And I purposely went back to the first two chapters.
Mm. To do deep dives.
Mm-hmm. Like I'm trying not to read it to finish the book, but to read it and use what I'm reading as reference.
You wrote books along with braids and hair and family and mommy and auntie and sister, cousin and
They exist. Yep, they exist. Because the act of braiding hair is one level, but the feelings and the emotions that's connected to it is a whole nother level of what's happening.
Right. They feel like holidays. Like
What's that?
the braid appointments when you engage with people that you ain't seen in a long time and y'all talk, y'all chop it.
Mm,
And only seeing your family on holidays.
gotcha. Yeah, and I've been trying to think through how to share some of this stuff with y'all. So this is some of the stuff that y'all are that's helping generate some of the curiosity. You know, because it's one level to have them as talking points, but then there's another level for y'all to be kind of curious about conceptual development. You know, like I'm trying to figure out what to do to help activate the questions. You know, so I'm not just talking.
Right. Right. Coming up questions for you.
Because I think it's stuff that y'all want to know or trying to figure out, but y'all don't necessarily ask. You know,
Alright. Gotta figure out what I'm curious about. Write them down.
and I wonder if it was curiosity to what I'm doing. It's like I'm trying to break down and share what I'm doing. But if I wasn't sharing it, is this something that y'all would be taking a dive to figure out? You know?
Without you?
Mm-hmm.
Deprioritizing your knowledge though? Yeah, no.
Well, we're becoming a successful artist. Productizing your knowledge, being yourself, speaking your mind.
I would.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I did not know that's what you use. That
It
little
works.
move.
So yeah.
So what's next for me after I make all my um, skills and I break them down my list?
To use them as talking points. Hmm.
Yeah, because I bought this book called The State of Black Girls, and
Stop.
it was so bad. Like, and it was like a go-to guide on, like a go-to guide for working with black girls.
You can tell why we made it.
No, a black woman made it, but it was just very funky dink. Oh my god. I should be better than this. And then down really talk about the state of black girls. You know, this is one of them. Hey girl, black girl magic. You know, write this down if you. You know what I mean? It's very cheesy.
What was the chapters like?
Dear black girl. Everyone was like dear black girl, and it was on confidence, on depression, on you know what I mean.
Mm.
And it was like a letter, sort of like a address or letter to the black girl, and then at the end of the chapter, a place where you answer questions as the black girl, and you know
So have a workbook too.
areas for you to write. But it was just it was kind of weak.
Mm.
But I could kind of tell. I could tell as soon as I like opened it and flipped through the pages, I was like, oh, this ain't got no quality to it. And then the more I read, I was like, yeah, this is not what I was looking for. But I told Corey that I wanna do a report and do a study on black girls in Cuyahoga County,
Mm.
and not just the girls, but the families. You know what I mean? Like I really want some data on what are our girls facing, what do they want, what do they need, what are they interested in, what's affecting them.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want it from this. We talking to all the dialed up girls, or we talking to the, you know what I mean? Like I want to talk to the real girls that are going through real shit and ain't never had nobody really talk to them or their ecosystem.
Right.
That'll be well.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
Because
most most research is over 100 people.
yeah, I wanna put out a report or something that you can go to it and read it and see responses and get numbers and you know.
That's dope.
Yeah, Queen loved it. She was like, "Oh, we could get funding for that." So
Yeah, be where you want.
shit, no, I want them to get funding for it. We pay my ass to do it. put some dollars behind this. Because I would just do it. I need
Yeah, no, that's amazing.
I can make that happen. What do you think?
No,
Mm-hmm.
no, I think we're good.